Welcome to Inside Eugene. I'm your host, Marin Stewart. Each episode, we take you behind the scenes of library, recreation, and cultural services to meet the people and programs that make the Eugene community shine. Today, we're celebrating 40-plus years of creativity with the Mayor's Art Show, a beloved annual exhibition that showcases local artistic excellence and fosters cultural connection. You'll hear from Mayor Kaarin Knudson, Public Art Coordinator Chanin Santiago, and juror Analee Fuentes about why this event matters, what you'll see this year, and how art shapes our city. Welcome all.
Thank you.
Hi, it's great to be here.
All right, Mayor, I'm going to start with you. Why is the Mayor's Art Show such an important tradition for the Eugene community?
This is a really beloved exhibit, and for decades, people have appreciated the opportunity to just see a snapshot of our incredibly diverse and burgeoning arts community, and the Mayor's Art Show is a chance to do that with the visual arts. It's two-dimensional and three-dimensional works. There is always enormous interest from the community in the exhibit, and this year was no exception in the sense that the work that was selected to be in the exhibit is just incredible, and so many of the pieces that were also not included in the exhibit that are at the Salon des Refuses are also amazing. So really, really a great showing by our community.
And then, Chanin, why don't you tell us how this event connects to the city's broader vision for public art? How does the Mayor's Art Show kind of fit into that puzzle piece?
Sure. Well, I think that the Mayor's Art Show really supports Eugene's public art vision by contributing to our cultural identity and vitality of the city. I think that it really activates our public spaces and encourages public engagement. And also, I think that it aligns with the vision of integrating art into our daily life and supporting our local artists. We know that the arts contribute quite a lot to the vibrancy of a community. And I also think that this helps us build relationships with our public and our community, and a relationship between the community and the city.
What does it mean, to cultural services that it's back at the Holt Center? I know it was at the library a few years ago, but now it sounds like it's back to a traditional location.
It means a lot because what we have heard for so long is that people miss being at the Holt Center in the Maury Jacobs Community Room. The Holt Center does sort of provide a public space for us, and it's a gorgeous building, and people feel attached to that space.
And totally cool to have all forms of art in one building. You got the performing, you got the visual, you got all of it there. So
yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Super cool. All right, Analee, as a juror, what excites you about this year's show? What are you seeing this year?
Well, the first thing that was kind of mind-boggling was the quality of the work that was submitted. I mean, try being a juror. I invite everyone from the community to come in and really try and wear that hat. It was really difficult in some ways, but it was really fun. In other ways, we had a great team, and there were just such a diversity and perspective of views that were submitted. I really want to congratulate everyone that submitted a piece.
Yeah. No, I've walked through, and all of them are excellent and so different in excellent different ways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what goes into planning an exhibition of this scale? Obviously, this is a huge lift. You have, many, many pieces, 50 plus, I think, and then even more applications. So tell me how that goes.
It's very layered. There's so many components and moving parts. Planning an art exhibition, especially at this scale, requires a balance of our curatorial vision and a lot of operational coordination. We develop a call to artists that has extensive, feedback. We recruit amazing jurors that consist of artists and art professionals. We love to work with our local educational institutions like the U of O, Lane Community College's art departments, and other arts organizations. So there's that partnership that's happening as well. And then the jurors have that really difficult role of selecting the artwork, which is really fun, but it is hard because there's just so much great work, and then through that we review the submissions, we select the work, and then we want to make sure that there's like a diverse artistic voices, materials, and practices and voices within that exhibition. And I really feel, and I've heard it before, that it feels meaningful to our public, that they can relate. They love to see the diversity of the works. And so I think that it really reflects the city's commitment to, culture, like our cultural stewardship of our city. There's a lot of nuances that you need to consider when you're bringing artwork in, especially into a civic setting.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a lot of conversations. It's not just me. There's many people that are involved in this process. So.
I'll say everything that you just described, Chanin, I heard from so many different people at the reception for the Mayor's Art Show at the State of the City. The joy at seeing the show in the Holt Center, but also the diversity of the work. And it's a really unique show, and the jurors did an amazing job. It's a different kind of exhibit than you might normally see in a gallery, in that it's really a whole bunch of different cross-sections of community work all in one space. And then it is curated really beautifully. And even though the room was packed, it was really interesting for me to watch the way that different people were gathering around different works, and the way you could see artists with their work, but also you could see just people moving through the space and the way that they were navigating both the art and the community at the same time in space. It was really, really beautiful, and such a wonderful feeling in that room. Every one of those pieces of art you could spend time with, which is, probably the best thing that you could ask for from an exhibit.
Rumor has it that our mayor was once an art student here at the U of O.
It's not just a rumor. One of my undergraduate degrees is in fine arts. It's design, and it's in fine arts. My other undergraduate degree is in creative nonfiction and journalism, so long form, like research writing. I got to take a lot of studio art at the end of my time in undergraduate years.
So you were made for this, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love art. I love the conversation that we get to have with it in community, but also the restorative nature of feeling connected with a work and inspired by it. It's a really, it's always a personal experience, but also I think in our community, it's a community experience.
Well, awesome. Well, now that I know about your experience, this question is going to hold even more weight. Tell me about the couple winners you chose of the Mayor's Art Show. What do you look for in a piece?
Oh, wow. So I did get to choose 2 of the honorees. There were 7 awards that were given, and the mayor gets to give a Mayor's Choice Award for 2-dimensional work and a 3-dimensional work. And as Analee said, so much great work in that space. For me, what was especially compelling, and in a couple of different ways, I told Kaarin Russo, the artist of the 3-dimensional work that I gave the Mayor's Choice Award to, that when I was at the walkthrough, I passed her sculpture, which is Wave of Compassion, and it just sort of drew me in like a gravitational pull. And I think especially with 3-dimensional works, when you have that kind of a physical response to the piece, it's really, that to me is something that is always really special. But as I was looking at her piece, I was looking at the face of this figure and just thinking, this is a conversation with a piece of art. And I was thinking about how I felt looking at this sculpture, but also about how much time she spent also in conversation creating that piece. It's very, very beautiful. And I got to watch a lot of other people feel very compelled by it at the show. And then Susan Paulsbo's tapestry, Lady Eugene, what an undertaking. I don't know if opus is the right term, but a tapestry that in her artist statement, she described the 7.5 years that she spent on that piece. When I met her, she said 3 pairs of glasses and who knows how many, hundreds or thousands of trips to the art store and to her community store to help her just to stay supplied, to make this incredibly vibrant red field that all of our native flora and fauna are stitched into. There's 1,000 stitches per inch in some of the sections of this piece. Just really lovely lovely, lovely piece. And there are so many
There were
in the
so
show.
many, indeed.
So how about you, Analee? What do you look for in a piece? And did you see any kind of trends in submissions this year?
For me, it's a wow moment. It's, these, and there were several like that. So it was the first reaction, what is it that is this just speaks to me, it has an impact, and it's a powerful, almost like a gut level response that you get to a piece, whether it's something that's beautiful or political or cultural, or it's just a kind of a magical connection that that the jurors had when they were looking at those pieces. We got together and we kind of conferred and said, this piece, the painting in this case, Judith Nakikian, was just so powerful, had so many elements of being just tender and loving and well-crafted, and just spoke to us as jurors. It's like, this is the piece, and it didn't involve trying to convince anyone or anything. It's just a conjoint kind of merger of being moved, being compelled by a particular piece of artwork. That was, and it was just obvious that was probably the one. And then the beautiful woman's torso by Patricia Montoya was also one of those things that you look at and it's like, wow, it's lovely, powerful. It's a female form. It's made with from a traditional indigenous standpoint of woven fibers, and it's a vessel. And again, there was, not much discussion about the ones that we felt conjointly were the most powerful pieces in the show. So that's the beauty of having more than just one juror, that you get to throw around ideas about what's working, what's not working, what is most that X factor about what is most compelling in looking at a piece. Just wish we could have picked out more.
We need more awards.
Yes, indeed. More awards.
And I'm going to throw another one at you. What made you want to be a juror this year?
I think it's really important to be a part of the community. To have our individual voices heard. And I was the 2001 poster child for the Mayor's Art Show, so I've been involved in the arts in the local community for a long time. And it's subjective, but it's not. Like I said, I think the most powerful work really comes through a gut level. There's no checklist that you can go through that says, this is good because of the color. This is good because of the compositions. There are techniques and things that are important, like presentation. So it was really interesting and really fun. All three of us were invested, but it was difficult. I tell you, it was really difficult.
I bet. Jeez. Awesome. So, Chanin, tell me are there other city exhibitions or public art installations in the city right now that people should check out if they really like the Mayor's Art Show? What else can they see?
Sure. So the Mayor's Art Show is under the umbrella of City Exhibitions. City Exhibitions is a new program that was sort of born out of the Winterfront exhibitions that we had created during COVID. And so we have, pivoted into our public spaces. And so currently we have 3 public buildings that we have galleries and display cases in. We have the City Hall Gallery right now is featuring Yvonne Stubbs. She'll be up until February 6th. It's a beautiful show. And then we also have an exhibition space at the Holt Center. It is the Contemporary Indigenous Art Gallery featuring a new artist, Dawn Bailey. And that will be up for a year. However, we will have an artist reception in March. So keep your eyes out for that. And in addition, we have 2 display cases that are dedicated for more of like craft-based 3-dimensional works in the Farmers Market Pavilion. And we'll have a new show coming up in March featuring the Lane County Farmers Market artists. So not only are they growing food, there's some visual artists there, so we'll feature them. We also have some public art that's just out in the area outside of the Holt Center. on the 6th Avenue side of that breezeway, we have 2 sculptures, and it's part of our cultural currents program that was really developed as an entry point for artists in public art. We really wanted to make it so that people could learn how to submit proposals and how to create public art. So that'll be up, I think, until like May or so. And I think that's it for now that I can think of. Those are all of, it's quite a bit.
Yeah, just a few there.
Just a few.
Yeah. How do these projects, whether it's the Mayor's Art Show, whether it's any of the exhibitions that Chanin just mentioned, how do they work together to make Eugene a more vibrant city?
Our community knows how important the arts are, and we love to celebrate them. So having these opportunities with these exhibits to celebrate art and to celebrate our artists, I think, and to offer, Chanin, as you were just describing, that we also are so thoughtful in how we create springboards for our arts community. Very few people know how challenging it is to establish the resume that allows you to even be considered for a public art piece of any scale. And so to just have that, not just being a community that, of course, is beautiful and it's inspiring in our environment and that has, strength of connection within it, but also is thinking about how we're creating energy that helps to propel artists into the future that they're dreaming of. It's just a very supportive stance. And I really love that about our community. I think a lot of other people do too, and these shows are an opportunity to feel really connected with that.
It's just, we have such a supportive environment here for the arts, and it's really taken off in the last 10 years or so, maybe. It just seems like there was a renaissance of appreciation for art and venues, and seeing the amount of people that were in that room at the reception for the Mayor's Art Show, it was obvious that our community loves the arts in all its forms.
Anything else to add about how residents who maybe aren't artists can support local art year-round?
For our entire community, looking for these touch points, taking advantage of them, it's a wonderful way to expand the type of art that, or the types of art that you think of yourself as an appreciator of. This past year, at a couple of different community conversations, I challenged the audience and the people that I was chatting with. I said, I'm doing a lot of different things and new things right now. And I think it's really a sign of health in our community when we are also out and trying on new things and going to new kinds of shows or exhibits or performances, or attending events or going to the farmer's market or Saturday market. There are people in our community who have not had these experiences. And if there is an opportunity to step out and add that to your, backpack of delights of the experience of living within our community, just really want to encourage people to do it, because you never know what new adventure is going to begin from just creating that, giving yourself a chance to feel connected to something new and something different. And in our community, I think also right now, that's just a really important activity and habit to nurture. Like, it's important to practice extending yourself in the world and creating the opportunity to have connections with new people and new things. So incredible amount of opportunity to do that through cultural services and our public art program, all of the work that happens at Eugene Public Library. That's another incredible, 1,000 doors into programs and connections. But I just hope people will take advantage of those opportunities.
This is one way to kind of really experience not just beauty, but some kind of compassion or connection by going to see art, by going to hear music, by reading, by going to a poetry session. It's really important to use art as there's a saying that art saves lives. I think that's probably very true. It certainly has at least enriched my own life. Yeah. So
yeah, oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
And I'd like to give a shout out that most of the artwork is for sale, and people can find out how to purchase the work online. It's pretty easy breezy. You can you can easily pick up a phone or, go online and make a purchase, or just give us a call and we'll walk you through it.
That's a way to support artists.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, we encourage you to visit the Mayor's Art Show at the Holt Center Maury Jacobs Room through February 22nd and vote for a piece to win the People's Choice Award. So a big thanks to Mayor Knudson, Chanin, and Analee for joining us today, and thank you for listening to Inside Eugene. You can help us celebrate Eugene's creativity by sharing this episode or following us on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate
Thanks, Marin.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Marin.